Good gaming, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Nider, and today we're gonna watch some new play cEDH. In tonight's game, we're gonna see a WUBRGSISAY, a Tayam, a Korvold, and a ObNixilis. Poor Korvold getting the banhammer last week. It is still a interesting game. It is a game back end of August. So we are still into the regular list, and then it's a quick one. I'm a bit late tonight. I had 2 tournaments over the weekend. I performed well with the bailing list. Decided to go into token, burning pod, shenanigans. Baleen is super nice for that. And so deck tech, so WUBRGSISAY is still trying to go and fetch either Dockside Loops or Planeswalker Loop, try to get her power up, and we'll try to get a multiple multiple search to get into the winning. After that, we've got Tayam. Tayam is a special cat shenanigans. We will see Tayam put some counters on creatures. He will then pay and remove counter to mill and do some graveyard reanimation. Technically, no reanimate, no entomb, but it is a mill tree, bring something back. Right after that, we've got Korvold. Korvold is the gluttonous king. So he will, every time he comes in, he will ask you to sacrifice something to get a +1/+1. And every time you sacrifice something, like a treasure, food, or whatever, you will put a +1/+1, and you will draw a card. ObNixilis. ObNixilis is a not super old. It was from March of the Machine Aftermath. So whenever a one or more play opponent lose exactly 1 life, you will exile a card, and you can play it put a +1/+1 on ObNixilis, and you can play that card until your next end step. So he will look for multiple ones pinger like Roiling Vortex or Underworld Dreams, I believe. It's the one where you draw and it deals you 1 damage. Stuff like that. Favored Vision also. Mulligans were made. ObNixilis starts the game. No pregame for anyone at the table. ObNixilis starts with a swamp, if I remember correctly. We'll play a Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual for 3. We'll use 2 for a Arcane Signet. 1 in Arcane for Demonic Tutor. Kind of a good start. We'll drop a Crypt. Of course, still in the pre-ban timing. Crypt into Agatha's Soul Cauldron. So he is 1 card away from having a winning combo, which is Walking Ballista. I will explain if it ever happens. Sisay gets a fetch land, will go drop Ragavan, not dashing him. It would have been fun if it was a Vampiric Tutor and he could have dashed into ObNixilis, but Elves of Deep Shadows for Tayam. So the name of the game, as usual, is drop a land, get a Mana Dork. As you see, the same thing for Korvold, get a land, do Mana Dork. So I've been playing in the new meta yesterday over the weekend. It is kind of a bit slower. However, we need to watch out for it is a mana dork and a rock meta. It's because you don't care, you don't mind. You're not gonna feed the dark side, so you're gonna play a bunch of enchantment rocks to ramp. The issue is you may it is slower. You will have some. So Kidirect and ObNixilis. So whenever you draw with Kidirect on the board, you will be damaged for 1. ObNixilis would trigger. You sees now a +1/+1 on him and exiled a Vendel Blast. Ragavan goes to combat and it's for 2. Goes to Tayam. Draw this card. Oh no, he's getting burned for City of Brass. Drops the Arcane Signet. Kidirect trigger. ObNixilis dropped the Imperial Seal. Now we're up to Tayam, and he has a Kessig Flame Breeder. So back on the meta discussion, it's going to be a slower one, but watch out. Cannon is still a powerhouse, so No Rod and Collector Oof. Stony Silence will be necessary rule of laws, but you still need to be able to develop a board quickly, and that's going to be a problem. Closing game as a Staxi, doable. You just need to make sure that you know what you're doing. Korvold draws, ObNixilis triggers, and he exiled a Professional Facebreaker. So what he is looking for at this point is the Walking Ballista. Because if he gets Walking Ballista, Agatha Soul Cauldron exiling Final Fortune, just to be sure it doesn't come back. If you exile Walking Ballista, anything with a +1/+1 will be able to use a Walking Ballista, as the activated ability of Ballista is deals 1, remove a counter, deals 1 damage. Then the ObNixilis will be able to remove a counter, deal 1 damage, puts back a counter, exile a card. And we see Imperial Seal getting blocked by Aven Mindcensor, saying just look into your top 4. As he used Elf of Deep Shadows, it dealt him 1 damage, so he will exile Fevered Dreams, I believe. Underworld Dreams or something like that. End step, get 1 damage, if I remember correctly. Will resolve the Imp Seal, will play Vicious Rumors. So every player discard a card, mills a card, and get 1 damage. It will then trigger ObNixilis, of course. And then whatever Imperial Sealed will go into Exiled to be played until his next end step. So see Cavern of Souls, Swan Song for Sisay. It was a Orcish Bowmaster for Tayam. Doesn't really matter because you can just bring it back. ObNixilis will trigger Goblin Engineer. Because the thing is, Goblin Engineer can tutor for the Walking Ballista. The problem is Aven Mindcensor being there. You would need to get rid of the Aven Mindcensor to go get all the way into his library. So let's see if he takes the gamble. He will not. He will actually just go get a Professional Facebreaker. So with Facebreaker, whenever you do damage, you will be able to make a treasure. Kidirect going to the Ragavan player to say. ObNixilis going to Tayam. Gonna be able to generate 2 treasures. So I'm not... He has to make sure that he has a Goblin Engineer on board, otherwise he will lose it. So he will go ahead and cast the Goblin Engineer. Check the top 4. So Engineer triggers. He will only be able to check in his top 4. Wishclaw. Boy, talk about lucky top 4. So it's always a question on what can he get. Of course, like I was saying, Wishclaw, he will be able to go get the Walking Ballista, use Agatha's Soul Cauldron to just go in and make it work. Goes to cEDH, draws Cataract, Exile, Lightning Greaves. Ragavan attacking Tayam, exiling a City of Brass. cEDH dropping a Remora Mystica. This is the Italian name. We had some fun today with that. Sakashima of 1,000 Face, copying ObNixilis. So of course, since everybody that draws get pinged for 1, it will be good for the cEDH player, because you get 2 Cataract trigger. Well, you get 1 Cataract, but that Cataract triggers will trigger the ObNixilis. Demonic Tutor for cEDH, a Blood Crypt for ObNixilis. Lavinia for cEDH. What did he do to get 1 damage? Oh, he fetched for one of the Badlands. Toxic Deluge for ObNixilis. Lavinia for the cEDH. Phyrexian Censer. So, as rule of law goes, Phyrexian Censer is one of the most prohibitive, because everything comes in tapped also. Korvold goes to a step, draws Force of Will for cEDH. Talisman of Indulgence for the Dan. I don't remember. It's one of the good renowned. Korvold drops a Grinding Station. Remora triggers. He will... So Agatha's Soul Cauldron, targeting Orcish Bowmaster to be sure that he doesn't bring it back. Mystic Remora triggers. He will draw a card. Cataract Resolve triggers. ObNixilis will exile a Gemstone Cavern. So he will activate Grinding Station to sack it to it and to mill 2. Is that it? Mill 3. Calling Ritual, Gamble, and something else. Calling Ritual would have been wonderful for the Korvold player at this point. ObNixilis goes to his turn. So it's now a 14-14. Is not ObNixilis. It's a +6 and +5 if I see correctly. It is a 4-4 by default. So that's a 15-15. We'll use Professional Facebreaker to go to Cataract to Korvold, Facebreaker to cEDH, and ObNixilis to Tayam.
First Blood.
First Blood for the ObNixilis player. So he will make 2 treasure. So at this point, I was looking at him and I didn't understand why. ObNixilis player is a over protective, or I don't know how to say it. He sometimes overthinks it, which is fine. Um, in his spot, it's not that bad that he overthinks it and makes sure that his win is safe. But what I was seeing on the board is just go get Wish Claw, get Walking Ballista, discard it. Gut Shot will snipe Ragavan. Mystic Remora triggers. ObNixilis Kidirect will trigger. Kidirect will exile a Badland. Well, ObNixilis will exile a Badland. Ragavan gets killed. I was like, why are you doing so much little extra stuff for no reason? And I'm gonna admit, I'm not the wisest of the wise, and I will be quite straightforward, not even thinking about pits and traps that could be happening. Because what there you see is he has, I believe it's a Toxic Deluge. And I'm like, why? So we'll go and use Talisman. What was Talisman on the street? I don't know. Will cast Lightning Greaves. Will protect his ObNixilis. So Lightning Greaves, Mystic Remora draws, ObNixilis triggers. Will exile a Pierre de Guérimont. So just what about it? Fellow Star in French is Pierre de Guérimont, so it's not going to be on a trivia at some point. Lightning Greaves on the ObNixilis. So you know I play Magda. I just play, okay, so this is not the most evident play. I'm not going to try to do 15 different play before I go. He goes to Oubliette the Sakashima, which is the ObNixilis of Sisay. Mystic Remora triggers. Oubliette is a super hold card. Everybody forgets about it. So forgetting is in French is oublier. So that's why it's called oubliette. It's because you were put there and everybody were supposed to forget about you. So that's why it's oublier, oubliette. He will draw. ObNixilis will trigger. He will then get a Notorara, and we get a gemstone? Gemstone for the ObNixilis? I don't know which one that is. Feels like an MDFC. Will Force of Will the Oubliette. I guess I messed up the stack at this point. Then on the Force of Will, he will take 1 damage, of course. I totally forgot about the 1 damage. The ObNixilis got a Lotus Petal. So ObNixilis will still be on the board. Well, Sakashima will still be on the board. However, he did not get anything special. Now you see the Goblin Engineer that will trade the Arcane Signet, or the Talisman for the Wish Claw. He will activate the Wish Claw. He will go get the Walking Ballista, and with the Walking Ballista, he'll cast it for 0, goes to graveyard, tap the Agatha Soul Cauldron to give the ability to every creature that has a +1/+1. ObNixilis will then be able, like I was saying, remove 1, ping 1, get 1 because ObNixilis triggers. And ObNixilis will close the game in a 3-turn game, super quick. If you learned anything, or if you want to get in touch with me, please leave a comment down below. Of course, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next game.